Oh, why hello guys. I didn't see ya. As you can see right now, I'm currently having a nice fancy dinner at this awesome looking restaurant. It's been several minutes since I got here and I already ordered my drink. A nice tall glass of milk with a straw. Oh look, here comes the waiter.
Good evening, madam. Have you made your selection, ma'am?
Hello miss, may I please have your homemade hand-tossed pizza with some broccoli and cheese, mac and cheese, and a cast iron skillet brownie.
Yes, you may. Your food will be ready soon. And thank you for choosing the bottomless fancy pit.
You know, while I wait for my food to be here, how about I tell you guys a story? Sit back, relax, grab some flippin' popcorn, and enjoy this freaking story. Okay, so it all starts like this.
Hurry up with those dishes, or I am throwing out all of your gaming consoles.
Billy's mom shouted while adding a pile of dirty plates and bowls on top of the pile he was already washing. Billy may have been 17 years old, but the chores in his house pretty much felt like a full-time job. Billy did the laundry, swept, mopped, made everyone's beds, cleaned the toilets, dusted, and even cleaned the attic and basement. Billy's mom never helped. In fact, she always said that she never had to. She just expects Billy to do all the chores, and his dad was never in the picture. Billy pretty much didn't know who or where he was.
Now, let's see what's on TV.
This is how life had always been for Billy, and he never understood why. Billy's mom's employees were treated like royalty compared to him. Whenever Billy got in trouble for even the slightest things, he had to sleep on a mattress in the basement floor. He wasn't even allowed to hang out with friends or even play outside. Billy's mom never cared about or even supported any kind of extracurricular activities. She never supported Billy doing things like gymnastics, crafts, football, soccer, or anything like that.
I regret even sending you to school. The only reason that I even do so is because I don't want to go to jail. You are nothing but a lying, worthless, useless, immature and irresponsible troublemaker who never listens to anybody and will only be a failure for all his life.
Billy's mom would tell him over and over and over again. She was so strict and hard on him that she rarely even showed him any love or warmth. Birthdays and Christmases were just like any other days. Billy spent them cleaning up after his mom. Billy's life took a drastic turn when he took a culinary arts class in his second semester. Billy's culinary arts teacher, Miss J, noticed that something was wrong. One particular class in the afternoon, she asked Billy to stay behind for a while.
Billy, I would like to ask you a personal question, but you don't have to answer if it makes you uncomfortable.
She said.
Sure, what is it?
Billy answered.
Is everything okay at home?
She asked.
Yes.
Billy replied, since he didn't really know what okay meant anyway. After all, everything seemed pretty normal at Billy's house. Growing up into 17, this was just what he was used to.
Well, I noticed that sometimes you're a little messy, and you're always wearing the same clothes. You also seem a little sad most of the time. I've never really seen you smile,
she said. Billy spent some time at the computer lab before going home. He had a PowerPoint to finish and he wasn't allowed to use the internet on school nights. So he decided to put the finishing touches on his PowerPoint there. When Billy got home, his mom was sitting on the couch, waiting for him with a paddle.
Where have you been?
She screamed.
I went to the computer lab to finish some work.
Billy replied quietly. She hit Billy on the face, arm, and bottom with the paddle, and then she continued to scream on why Billy would bother to do PowerPoints and other type of work when he knew he was dumb and would only be a failure in his life and would never be good for anybody and no one would ever love him. Billy rolled his eyes, trying to hide his tears, and then went down to the basement to start sweeping. Suddenly, they heard a knock on the door. When Billy ran to answer the door, he saw that Miss J was standing there.
Hello, Billy. I decided to pay you a surprise visit. I'd like to talk to your mom. Wow, what a nice house you have,
She said.
Please come in. I'll go get my mom.
Billy replied. She followed him to the kitchen.
Billy, why do you have a whip in the kitchen?
She asked.
Oh. That's my mom's.
Billy replied.
What is that mark on your arm?
She asked in a slightly concerned tone. And then at that moment, Billy's mom barged in.
Who the hell do you think you are? Coming into my house and asking questions. Tell me right freaking now, who do you work for?
She screamed. Miss J was so upset and angry that she just walked out of the house. Billy's mom was angry with him too, and with that, she threw out all of his game consoles and forced him to sleep outside. She threw the mattress from the basement outside at a park close to the house and told Billy that he could sleep in the woods. Why was she always so angry and strict and hard on him like this? The next several weeks were crazy. Miss J contacted the authorities, who then investigated Billy's mom. They concluded that Billy was getting close to being neglected, and he was taken away and sent to the Czech Republic where his aunt and uncle lived. Billy was very lucky because his aunt and uncle were absolutely amazing. They have a big house, own a cafe, and have 2 children. Billy had his very own big room and never, not even once, had any chores to do. Billy's aunt and uncle always told him that he was beautiful, intelligent, amazing, and that he could be anything he wanted, as long as he worked very hard for it, and believed in it. To tell you the truth, no one's ever said that to Billy before. The next 5 years were more beautiful and amazing, more than anything that Billy could ever imagine on this planet. For birthdays, Billy received gifts and cake and cupcakes and ice cream, and they had a whole ton of real celebrations. Billy finally got presents under the tree on Christmas Day. They even went on awesome family vacations to places like New Orleans, New York, Boston, and Billy's favorite, Anime Boston. Billy's aunt and uncle also allowed him to be a part of anything he found interesting or liked or loved. Billy always wanted to learn about video games and how to make them, since he always dreamed about being a video game designer. So when he told them about this idea, they enrolled him in a specific kind of class right away. At first, Billy had some personal struggles and ups and downs. But after lots of time and patience, Billy became the best in his little personal class. In his own world of creativity and imagination, Billy felt like he was free and at peace. Billy was able to forget all of the horrible bad things that happened in his life, and he felt pure blessed. Billy worked really hard, and after a couple years, his teacher decided that Billy had so much potential that he was sure that he'd be a successful video game designer and maker someday. At that point, this became Billy's biggest dream. Billy was happy, but he still had some strange thoughts about his past. If you guys know what I'm talking about Billy's father. The point is, Billy never met his father, and he has no idea who he is. One day when Billy was flipping through the channels, He stumbled upon a crime show, and that's what got him inspired to call and contact a private investigator. This could be the only chance of hope for Billy to find his dad. I mean, come on. He had to be around here somewhere. And better yet, maybe he could even meet him. Billy searched online and he found an investigation company almost completely instantly. Billy then explained his situation and they asked him to come to their office the next day. So the next day, instead of going to school, Billy went straight to their office, hoping his aunt and uncle wouldn't find out. First, they asked for some personal information. And then they requested most of the payment before the investigation. And then the rest of it would be given to them once they provided Billy with the results. It took about a few months, but one particular afternoon, Billy finally got the call he was waiting for.
Mr. Billy?
The voice on the other end said.
Yes?
Billy replied.
I have some news for you. The news is, we found your father.
The investigator said. Billy's spirits were lifted.
Well, where's he?
He asked.
Well, you see, Billy, his name is Jasper, but unfortunately, he's in prison, all the way in Vietnam. And it's not just that, we also found something else that's shocking.
He said.
Well, what is it?
Billy asked.
Well, you see, Billy, the woman you believed to be your mother really isn't. Your father was married to the woman who raised and treated you very harshly. But, the thing is, you're the son of a woman he had an affair with. Her name is Lola, and she lives in California. All the way back in the US. After you were born, your father's wife threatened to kill her. So she fled the state, and left you behind.
He said. And then at that moment, it was all making sense to Billy now. This was why she treated Billy so harshly. She wasn't his real mother. Billy then asked the investigator to find a way for him to contact her. 1 week later, he called back with her information. The investigator gave Billy her Google Hangouts name and a regular phone number. Billy decided to use Google Hangouts because he wanted to see her face. But before he called her, Billy decided to tell his aunt and uncle the truth about everything. The thing is, Billy didn't really like keeping secrets from them. Billy called everybody for a family meeting and explained that he found the truth about his family. Billy's cousin Scott started to get worried. He said,
I guess that means you're going to leave us. Right?
Yeah, is that true, Billy? Are you going to leave forever?
Billy's cousin Lizzie added,
Of course not. You guys are my family. I just want to learn more about my real mother. And it'll help me learn more about myself.
Billy said.
Billy, I want you to know that we support your decisions. I also want you to know that God will never put you in a situation alone. He'll always be there by your side, and with God's help, we will help you every step of the way. I promise you, Billy, you're not alone in this. God is with you, always. We understand completely,
Said Billy's uncle. Billy felt relieved that they understood and was willing to support him every step of the way. When Billy got back to his room, he added his biological mom's name to his Google Hangout contacts. Luckily, she was online. Billy then clicked call and it rang for about 5 minutes. And then somebody picked up.
Excuse me, is this another pervert trying to catfish me? I am sick and tired of telling you people I don't have any money.
She said, sounding a little irritated.
No. Hi. My name is Billy. I found your information from a private investigator.
Billy replied. She took a close look at the screen and then her jaw dropped. And she had the biggest shocked expression on her face.
Oh my god. Oh my freaking god, it's you, my son. I haven't seen you since the day you were born. Oh, how did you find me? Are you safe? Where is that witch? Did she hurt you? Oh, my son.
She said and started crying, uncontrollably.
I'm fine. She actually treated me very harshly, to the point where she was treating me horribly. But I was taken away and I'm with my aunt and uncle now.
Billy said.
You're with my sister and her husband?
She exclaimed. Billy and his mother spoke for hours. Billy told her about his life and how it had turned around for the better. By the end of the conversation, Billy's mother asked if he could spend a few days with her in California. Billy agreed because he wanted to see his mother in person, and he knew his aunt and uncle would allow him to go. Weeks later, Billy said goodbye to his aunt and uncle at the bus stop and went off. Billy pretty much felt like his journey took forever. But eventually, Billy was relieved when he finally reached his destination. A beautiful city in California surrounded with bright lights and huge giant cities. When Billy got off at the next bus stop in California, he looked around for his mom. Billy saw a lot of people holding baskets of sweets, and that made Billy remember that she learned about his biological mother working at a sweet shop. So when she asked all the people carrying the sweets if anyone knew her, none of them said that they knew her. After walking around frantically for at least 20 minutes, at that point, Billy was ready to break down into tears. And then suddenly, Billy heard an air horn and a bunch of instruments from the Wind family blowing, and somebody screaming, "Billy! Billy! We are here! We are here! We are here!" Billy followed the noises and found his mom and 3 grown adults and 2 little kids who were clapping their hands excitedly. She then ran towards Billy and gave him a huge, tight hug.
I am so sorry I'm late. It took a while to get everyone ready.
She said.
Wow! I can't believe it's really you. After all these years.
One of the adults said.
So are all these people?
Billy asked.
Oh, I forget to mention that besides my sweet shop, I run an academy home for homeless people, abandoned children, people who are struggling with family issues, especially ones with disabilities, and people who just need a place to stay, grow and learn. There's about 300 people in the academy home, but a lot of them are neurotypicals, and some of them have disabilities, especially autism. And most of them are also people who have parents who, well, just don't care enough about them. I went into social work and special ed work because it helped me fill the void I had when I lost you.
She said while she was trying hard not to cry. They went back to Billy's mom's house, and although it was big and it wasn't very luxurious or fancy, it was filled with love and warmth. Billy spent many weeks helping the staff members with the clients who adored him. They were all amazing and so much fun to be around, especially when it comes to video games and cartoons. Billy was also able to spend a lot of time with his mom. They walked through the bright lights of the city in the afternoon at night, and she took him to many interesting spots around the town. Although Billy had an aunt and uncle who cared about him a lot, nothing could top over or compete or compare with being around the biological mom. Billy received just as much nurture, love, and care that his aunt and uncle gave him. After a few days, she asked Billy if he would consider staying with her. Although Billy would love to, he didn't want to give up on his dreams of becoming a best game designer. There weren't a lot of video game designing opportunities for where Billy's mom lived, so that basically meant if Billy were to stay with his mom, he would never have a chance to achieve his dreams of being the best video game designer and possibly own his own video game company. Billy promised to visit though, and thankfully she understood. And although Billy went back to his aunt and uncle, he and his mother have created an unbreakable bond. And that's pretty much the whole story. It's all exactly what happened. And in case you were wondering, yes, Billy does become successful with his video game dreams.
Madam, your food is ready.
Oh, thank you. Now, before I dig into this tasty meal, I'm gonna say right now, thank you so much for watching this video. Keep watching this channel and see what happens next. I'll see you guys sometime soon.